I'm amazing because our passion is limitless and our drive is intense. Therefore, you will not deny your grind. You are now watching the Faith Grind Inspired podcast with your host, Dr. Gina Alerte.
All right. So, welcome back, all my grinders. This is your host, Gina Alerte, to the Faith Grind Inspired podcast. And today we have a special guest, my sister, my client, the butterfly, the amethyst.
The amethyst,
you
the
right?
butterfly, all of it.
Miss Hadiiya Barbel herself. 3-time Emmy winning, just public figure. She's awesome if you read her posts on social media. So we have Hadiiya in the building. Thank you, Hadiiya, for joining us.
Always excited to turn my magic all the way the fuck on.
That's right. Oh, we're going to definitely talk about the book. We're definitely going to talk about the book. Faith Grind Inspired podcast is all about the mindset of an entrepreneur, right? Mm-hmm. And you embody that entrepreneur mindset. You're all about self-awareness. Like, you are, that's why I think so many people gravitate towards you, because you are what they want to say, who they want to be, like, and they want to be themselves,
right? But
like, you're a total, when I say butterfly, right, is because butterflies, they start out in the cocoon, mm-hmm. and they start out and then they come out, and then they come out beautiful as a, you know what I'm saying? And so for, you know, so the world is actually seeing this of you. So let's talk about,
well, it's just funny that you mentioned the butterfly, because, you know, I was doing quite a few interviews with different magazines yesterday at Afropunk. And the crown that I created, the headdress that I created, was full of butterflies.
Wow.
And everyone was like, oh my gosh, the butterflies, thank you for blessing us with this butterfly. And the representation of the butterfly is the constant transformation. And when I think of a butterfly, just like you mentioned, you're calling me a butterfly, it's because I think that we're all butterflies.
Absolutely.
But not all of us are willing to spread our wings. And not all of us are willing to come out of the cocoon. And not all of us are willing to go through the stages.
Absolutely.
You see, because there's many stages. Mm-hmm. And in each stage, there's beauty in each stage of the butterfly.
That's very true.
Yeah.
So Hadiiya, tell us where you're from.
Well, I'm from New York City.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in New York, and I was raised in the Bronx. But then, you know, I just became a Brooklyn native over the last 20 years. And now I live in LA.
And now you live in LA, right?
Yeah, now I live in LA.
Yeah, we miss you already.
Well, you know.
But
the butterfly has to spread her wings.
You have to share. When we say the word entrepreneur, right? Mm-hmm. When did that start for you?
I mean, for me, that entrepreneur mindset came from my parents. Okay. You know, I grew up in the hustle life, in the streets. You know, grew up, like, I had parents who always were independent. So I watched them, like, selling all their products, right in the hood, right on the streets. You know, I watched my mom do it. But mostly my dad. Yeah. Like, he would like selling, like, CDs and perfumes and, like, cultural T-shirts and stuff. And this was like in the 80s, and
wow.
in the 80s, and I grew up watching this in the Bronx, and I also grew up watching him run from the cops. Like, I grew up with like, let's get this, like, we going to get, we gotta feed the family, you know, we gotta raise the community. And so I grew up with that mindset, to the point where my sisters and my brothers, we never, like, I didn't come from a family that just had a whole bunch of money. I came from a family where we had to go for it. We had to get ours. You had to make it happen. Grinders. And every level, there's a grind. You have to appreciate the grind. So, like, I'm 10 years old. Like, how are we going to get this money? At 10 years old, I watched my parents thinking about this money. So, you know, I'm, like, packing bags in the supermarket, like, I don't know, delivering grocery at 10 years old. Nice. So the entrepreneurial mindset started from young, because there was things that I knew I wanted. And my parents had a lot of children. Mm-hmm. They didn't have the money to provide it. So I always had to find ways to make money and to do it. And then I had to use my mind, and then I had to use my energy. So that entrepreneurial mindset started from when I was a little girl.
So now, how did you go from packing bags, delivering groceries, to Emmy Award winning?
Well, you know,
I want to know, like, like, what happened? Did you?
We all have our gifts.
Yeah.
You know, we all have gifts, and I just realized that I had a talent. I was always an artist.
Okay.
I was always a strange little girl. Always a strange little girl that everyone laughed at. Everyone made fun of me.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Everyone laughed at me, and everyone made fun of me. I was like this strange, weird little girl who had these big, thick glasses, because I'm actually legally blind in one of my eyes. And so, in that time, they didn't have the technology that they have now. Yeah. You know, and so I always had to learn how to feel my way through and how to create my own life. And so I realized I had a talent. And I just took that talent and just kept expanding and just stayed with it. You know, from actually it started from when I realized I had that talent. I would literally, I forgot to tell you about this, I would take pictures of myself, just like we do today on social media. I've been doing that way before.
Way before Instagram.
And then I would put these pictures in all the beauty supply stores from Bronx to Brooklyn to Queens, everywhere.
Really?
And I would stick pictures of myself in the beauty supply store, and I would put my number there. And I would say, give me a call, I will travel to you. So that grind, that hustle, I was like 17 years old making bread, like, giving my mom's money, like, and so, and people would come to my mom's house, I would go to them, and I was talented, so I was just like, nothing's gonna stop me. I was on my little knapsack, my cute little outfits, I on a train booking I had my little appointment book at 17 years old, yep, I'm gonna see her, and I'm gonna give myself travel time right here, and I'm gonna see this one in the Bronx, I'm gonna see this one in Staten Island, I'm gonna see this one and I was collecting money, and then I started to take it seriously, and then I went to school for it. And school only teaches you really how to get your license. You really have to be amongst greatness. And so I kept myself amongst greatness. I was never the type of person who just had to be the greatest one in the space. I wanted to go where all the great ones were, where all the people who were doing their thing and manifesting and doing all the video shoots and working with Bad Boy Records. I wanted to be around all the celebrities, all the badasses. I'm like, I will assist you. I will be there. I need to be up under all of them. And so I made it my business as a very young girl. I always promoted myself. And I remember going into hair salons like, here's my work. And the work they were like, these pictures are all you. I'm like, well, the work is me. I am the work. Okay? And so I would show up like, you need to hire me. Like, I need to be working here. You need to hire me because I'm just gonna, turn this place out. And I always, and even though I came, they would laugh at me because they're like, oh, this little girl. But they were like, okay, we'll keep you around. And I would go and work in these places around these great people. And I always wanted to be like that. I needed to have people who were doing amazing things around me. And I believe that is a part of being an entrepreneur. Absolutely. Is always being inspired. Because, being an entrepreneur, you could be lonely as an entrepreneur also. Like, the world starts coming down on you. You feel like giving up a lot. Entrepreneurship is not for everyone. No. You have to be really strong, and you have to come up with new ideas, and you have to constantly stay motivated to keep going. And part of that motivation comes from the people you surround yourself with. Absolutely. 100%.
Absolutely.
So I just kept going. And then I was like, I would look at these magazines, and this is back in my hair world. And I would look in these magazines, and I'd be like, wow, I need to be in these magazines. I would go to the magazines and look up the contact numbers, and I would call. I was always about going after it, because going after it is the only way it's going to happen. So I would call them and say, hey, you should have me in your magazine. And they were like, okay, well, send us your work. And sometimes they gave me a chance. Sometimes they didn't. I remember one particular time, I kept going. Yeah. I worked in a hair salon, and with the salon that I worked in, it was called Time Salon at the time. I worked in like Black Roots, and that became Time Salon. And I used to always look up these hair salons that had like the top dogs in it, and so I worked in there, and I remember saying to myself, okay, what's my next level? It was always about, what's the next level? And so my next level was like looking at these magazines, and I'm like, I need to get in this Essence. I remember that Essence magazine, and at that time, when you were in Essence magazine, you blew up. In those days where social media didn't exist, you had to work. You had to put in work. You had to be great at what you did for people to give you a chance. These days, it's a little different. Social media, people just become, stars. They just make things up. Seriously, everybody wants this instant gratification and wants to be stars automatically without putting in the time and without putting in the work. Yeah. And so in those days, you had to show and prove. You had to show and prove. And I remember, always trying to find a way to get in, knowing the hairstylist, can I assist you? What could I do to get in, And so I remember someone giving me a contact and me giving them a call, and they're like, come. You had to go in to the office and bring a model and show your work. It wasn't like these pictures and this. No, you had to do the work, go in there and do a presentation for them to even give you an opportunity. Wow. And I remember going in, prepare. I was like, oh, they want me to prepare. I'm gonna prepare 4 models, and that was before I started doing crowns. That was in the days of weaving hair and creating this art and these haircuts and this custom color. And I remember showing up one day with 4 models. I get there, I have the girls all dressed up, I'm all prepared, and the woman says to me, oh, I go to the front desk, and they said, I'm sorry, she left for the day. The person who's supposed to see you, she left for the day. You have to come back next time. I was like, damn, this took so much work getting everybody's schedule together, getting the models together, and I said, okay, no problem. And so I came in. They said, when can I come again? They said, okay, just come in next week. Next week, I prepared them again. Did the same thing again. I went up there, and I got to the office, and I'm in the reception area, and I said, okay, I'm here. And they were like, who are you here for? And I'm like, what do you mean? I have an appointment. I'm supposed to be doing a presentation for Essence Magazine. I have an appointment. And they said to me, I'm sorry, she's no longer here anymore. She's no longer with us. I said, but I just spoke to her like an hour ago, and she told me to come in. And so I stood there, and I started crying.
Wow.
I cried. I was like, I don't care. My feelings were hurt. I cried.
Yeah,
and then this wonderful woman, her name is Sandra Martin, they said, hold on, give me a second. And they brought her downstairs. She said, come on, baby, come upstairs. We're going to see you. And I remember, I was like, I'm not leaving until someone sees me. I don't care if I got to stand here and cry. Someone's going to see me. And I remember from that time, when they finally gave me an opportunity to work with that magazine, I was in there every single month for at least, I don't know, a few years. And it just, that opportunity that I had to create and to shine and to be on set with all of these great artists, it was always a wonderful opportunity to me. And it really took my career to a whole nother level. Because in that time, when you got into that particular magazine, it was a certain level of quality. Exactly. And I always believed in quality. You had to, if you were presenting quality, you have every right to charge for your worth and for your quality. So it always kept me at a high level standard with my work. And some people will be like, oh, she's so expensive. I'm like, I mean, there's others, but I know my worth. Exactly. And I always kept that standard with every single thing that I do. No matter if I'm doing healing work, if I'm doing creative work, there's a standard. And I knew my standard, and I knew my work from very young. And so, there was just like always different levels of it. From that level, I was like, okay, it's time to go to the next level. And I got an agent. And I bought all of my magazine work, and I bought it to the agent. I'm like, hey, I'm here. Okay, I'm getting opportunities. Can you represent me? Mm-hmm. So in that time, I went to Kim Barbel's agency, and he was always booking me for more jobs and more things and more opportunities to be on set. I started working with celebrities, and I remember from being in that agency and doing the work that I was doing, I remember that's how I met Wendy Williams.
Got it.
I didn't meet Wendy Williams from just being Wendy Williams hairstylist, nothing like that. Mm-hmm. I met her on a photo shoot that I was hired to do. And they told me, oh, you're doing Wendy Williams tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, really? Okay, what does she want to have done? It's like, just bring your big curling iron and curl whatever she's wearing. I was like, oh, no, that's not what Hadiiya Barbel does, honey. What Hadiiya Barbel does is she goes into the lab and she says, well, what would this woman love? I'm going to create something so that she will never forget it. It's not about, when you are presented with an opportunity, you don't take that opportunity lightly. You take that opportunity and you milk it for all that it has. You take that opportunity and you just like maximize every single opportunity that you have. And so an average person would just go in with their curling irons and their stuff and just like, okay, I'm gonna do a great job. Me, I'm like, I'm gonna make a great relationship. I'm not just going to do a great job. I'm going to build a great relationship so that I could expand on this opportunity. And so we stayed connected. She would mention me on the radio, give me hype and all that. And then one day she calls me and she says, hey, I have this opportunity coming up. I have a TV show. And I would like for you to be in charge of me and my look from the head to my neck. And I said, okay, let's do it. I was like, and this is way before the show happened. She told me about it. And, I was in charge of it. And so one of the great things about being an entrepreneur is that you get to put your people on, and so when I had that opportunity, I was like, okay, well, who I'm going to put on here? Because I'm going to bring my people in too, and I brought in Morel, who is who's still her makeup artist to today, and I brought in D'Angelo Thompson, who's also who actually was able to style the guests on the show. And so, and then my job was to create her looks for TV, to bring attention to her brand and what she was doing as well. And so I enjoyed the first couple of years being there. Before I got the Emmy, I enjoyed that. My voice is so scratchy today. I think it's because I was like out.
No, you turning your magic. You dropping a lot of the
I'm dropping it. I was at Afropunk yesterday, so there was a lot of energy. So like,
yeah. No, it's totally fine.
Okay, so listen, and so, yeah, so my job was to create magical hair for her and create looks that kept people interested. She was very new to TV at the time, so you know she was still getting her feet wet and still like, you know, learning how to be on TV. She was a radio person, and then she became a TV person, and so you know it was like rough around the edges at the beginning, and it was just a great opportunity and a great platform, because what I loved about working with her is that she allowed me to create. And as an artist, I need to create. I don't want people telling me what to do and how to do it. I don't want that. I need to be able to, you know, you can give me a little bit, but you have to allow the artist to be an artist. Absolutely. Because that's why you brought me on board. And she allowed me that platform to just do whatever. And I wanted people to pay attention to her, and I wanted her show to get picked up. And so I did that for a while, and that was great for my career. But when it was time to move on, I got the Emmy, and I got nominated at the first year, and then I got the Emmy the next year. And I was the only one who got the Emmy for the entire show. I mean, out of the production, out of the lighting, everything, I got the Emmy. And so I represented. I came in, I put my best foot forward, no matter what was going on. There was always something going on, but it didn't matter what was going on. I stayed focused, you know, and my job is to bring the best of my work. And even when there was a lot of energies floating around, what I did is I took those energies and put it into creating my best work. My work came even greater and greater and greater, no matter what was going on in my environment. Yeah. So, you know, I really look at that as spirituality as well, because we're always tested, you know. And how can we take the tests that we have in life, and how can we take those and turn it into, like, transmute it and turn it into something great? And I'm always using the word great, because we could be mediocre if we want to. We could talk and we could gossip, we could do all of this stuff. Those things are distractions. When we could take this energy and put it into our work, and putting into our next level, put it into our legacy, you know, just deposit it, you know, rather than putting it out, just put it back in. Put it back in. You know, put it back in. Yeah. And so that's what I did. And then when I knew, once they said to me, well, guess what? You just won an Emmy. I was like, wonderful. My job is done here. My job is done here. Yeah. Because I did not want to be known as Wendy Williams hairstylist. That's not who I am. I don't belong to anyone. That's just what it is. You know, and I talk real talk. I don't belong to anyone. I'm grateful for that platform that had allowed me to grow and gave me my Emmy, and then opening up the doors to many other opportunities. But I never stay still, and I don't belong to anyone. And that's just what it is. So when it was time for the butterfly has to continue to spread her wings. Exactly. And they weren't happy about it, but it's all good. There was people to take my place, so that was fine. And from then on, I continued to do the work. You know, when I left that, you know, working in the entertainment industry is not that easy. It's a lot of different things that you have to deal with, and a lot of different personalities. And so I had to step back, and I said, you know what? There's a lot of healing that's needed in the world, because from working with people directly and working with celebrities or working with people in their day-to-day, you know, you hear the stories, you know about the drama, you know about the stress, you know about all that they carry, you know, because you're so up close and direct with them, you know. So for me, it was like, I could put my energy into this, or I could put my energy into doing healing work. And then, but the hair and the beauty, for me, I believe, is all the same. It's all the same. People want to separate the inner and the outer, but what I bring to the world is both. Let's merge it, you know, because there's not every time can someone transform or shift their energy and heal their energies through the inside. So everyone says, oh, it starts within, but I disagree. I think it depends on the person and depends on the situation. I'm always here to challenge a thought process and challenge something that's been taught to us. I disagree. I believe that some people need to start from the outside and then go in. And there's some people who need to go in and out. Some people can't even go in. They're scared of what's inside. Some people might go inside and get scared and be like, I'm getting the hell out of here.
Get the hell out of here.
You know, and so
yeah, that's interesting.
I believe that you have to meet people where they are and touch people where they can feel it most. And sometimes that might be the transformation of the hair. It might be that crown chakra that's about to get opened up. It might be that transformation that comes from people seeing themselves in a different way. So maybe they can feel different inward. Maybe now they may be able to touch and explore inward. And then some people, they got all of that down pat and they need to just go, now it's time to go within. Let's start with what's going on inside of there. And some people are willing to go there to explore.
Wow. Hadiiya. So all right. So how did you decide to open up Hadiiya?
Hadiiya?
Yeah, Hadiiya.
Okay, well, before I had Hadiiya, I've already opened, I'm a businesswoman, you know? So for me, I have already opened up 3 studios. That's what a lot of people don't know. It was never, I've opened up already 3 studios before I even touched Hadiiya. Okay? Hadiiya.
So it wasn't your first one?
No, I had it. That was my 4th one.
That's your 4th one?
4th, honey. Let's get this straight,
all right,
okay? All right? Okay? It's called Female Entrepreneurship on the Rise.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm all about. And for me, I was always an entrepreneur. It was always about that.
So the previous 3?
The previous 3, I had a place called Glamour Suite in Lower Manhattan. And I think it was like
LES?
Yeah, LES.
Okay.
Right? I had that, and I had that for about 5 years. And that, I had a whole team of people that was renting spaces. That was more when I was into hair salon. But before that, I was always like working in beautiful spaces in the city. Always had that going on for years. Always was independent. But I always had to keep growing. And I noticed that with me, I really only stay still like maybe about every 3 to 4 years, and I got to do something else. I've never been any place more than 3 years.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't.
Yeah.
So.
Are you afraid of being complacent?
It's not that I'm afraid. It's just that I can't.
You can't, right?
You know, like, so for me, it's like I move with energy and I move with spirit.
Got it.
And I listen to my spirit guides when they speak to me.
Yeah.
And when I know it's time to move and it's time to make that next move, I make that next move my best move.
Now, let me ask you. So some of the guests listening can get something from it because you've been dropping so much. I
got so much to give, you know.
So much to give, but that's
just watch out for the TV show that I'm about to.
Yeah, you can't expect nothing less. But what feeling or how can you, if someone feels like they're getting complacent, what advice would you give them to break free? Because it's hard.
Absolutely,
it's hard because think about it. You just won an Emmy. You on a hot show. And you just said, I'm done here, right? Now, most people wouldn't do that because they this is a steady paycheck.
It was a great paycheck.
It's a great paycheck. Come out of that because so many people get comfortable.
I got you.
Yeah.
Here it is. First things first. Stay still. Stay still. You know, it's easy to become complacent when you're just constantly moving around like you're in a rat race. You're in a rat race, or you're in a hamster in that circle, and you just keep going around in a circle, and all you're doing is doing the day-to-day. Every day is the day-to-day. Let me get this done today. Humdrum, day-to-day, and you're not even realizing that you're complacent. You're not even, because you're constantly moving so quickly that you're not even tapped in to your intuition, to your gut feeling, to that child, to that child that wants to come out and play and explore. You're hushing her or him constantly just to get through the day. But tell me, are you smiling? Are you happy? Are you passionate? Are you inspired? You have to start asking yourself those questions. Am I inspired? Do I wake up and feel like I'm so ready to create something? I'm so ready to conquer this day. I can't wait to start tapping into all of these projects I have. If you're not feeling like that, then you have to stay still and start to ask yourself some questions. And then you make moves. You start to make steps and progress towards where you want to be. And how do you do that? You get around other people who are doing the things that you want to do. That's what you do. When you start to feel stuck and you start to feel complacent, that's when you go to the tribe. And if you don't have a tribe, you find one.
You find one.
Okay? Because when the student is ready, what do they say? The teacher will show up. The master appears. So everything that you want is right in front of you if you stop to take a look at it, if you stop to see it. And so listen, I don't believe anyone that tells me they can't find anything. In this day and age of where we're living and how we're living, there's no way that you can't find anything. Every single thing that you need to know will show up in the physical, or it'll show up on Google. So, Google.
Yeah, you're right.
Google it. Okay? What is that field that you want to be in? What is that thing that makes you happy? Where is it? Start to look. I'm telling you, start to open the doors. Start to search for it. Start to seek. Go to some seminars, and sometimes the seminars may not be in the field of where you want to be. It may be just to inspire you. You might need to invest money and time and energy into your well-being. And sometimes it's that investment. That's why I started the Goddess Glow Up. You know, it's these investments. When people say to me, well, why should we pay money for this? I've heard this sometimes. Why should I pay money? So then you don't deserve it, huh? So that means you don't deserve your next level. You don't deserve to get out of where you are. Because a lot of people easily spend money on material things all day long. Because it's quick, instant gratification that gets you nowhere. But, oh, I feel good right now. Got me a new Chanel bag. And then someone says, okay, well, there's a 3-day empowerment retreat coming up. And there's wonderful powers and powerful leaders around there that you could really learn from. Well, let me think about it. But I got that Chanel bag, honey. What is that? So my thing is take time and all of and have balance in your investments of time, of not only your self-care, but also your growth. Your growth, you know, your creative growth, your business growth, and your personal growth is very necessary. And that's an area where a lot of people, this day and age, I see, are now beginning to see the value. I know as an empowerment leader, I have to have a coach. I have an investment in a business coach. I have that. And I spent a lot of money on it too, and it was worth it. Yeah. You know, I have healers around me. The healers need the healers. I have priests. I have healers. I get services. I pay for services from others.
That's true.
Because I know that it's going to put me in a proper headspace. Or sometimes, you know, I go around, I keep a community of people, of move makers around me. Yeah. And that's important too. How do you find a community of move makers? Some people say, I don't have community, I don't have this and I have that. Well, how about you go search for them? How about you go seek them out and see what they're doing, see what they do for a living, see what activities are they into, and find them. Ask for mentorship. Ask for help. Yeah. That's it.
It's true. Speaking of that, right? It's interesting because a lot of people don't want to spend money on empowering themselves and taking themselves because they feel like I could just Google it and just look at YouTube videos. I have to give it up to you because, you know, you were actually you still are one of my clients, but you were one of my clients as far as consulting business, right? And I remember sitting in the office for like maybe 6 hours, and we came up with like 10, 15 chapters of the book, right? And today I want to talk about, I'm so proud because this was a passion project for you, but this was a passion project for me too, because I actually got to see something from the beginning. It was like a seed. It was a seed level, right? And we pulled it out and we put it out, and you turned your magic all the way to fuck on, right?
You were scared to say that.
I was.
Oh, your professional business.
Yeah,
all the way to fuck. Let me tell you how you say that. Okay.
Tell me.
What if you just turn your magic all the way the fuck on? That's how you say that.
Yeah.
See,
what if you turn your magic all the way to fuck on?
A little better.
A little better. Yeah.
But you got to emphasize it. You know, because sometimes you need that. No, sometimes you need that word. You know, a lot of people, they get caught up in words. Oh, she cursed. Oh, stop it.
Yeah.
Okay? Because sometimes we need to say, turn it. I can say, what if you just turn your magic all the way on? Or I could say, what if you just turn your magic all the way the fuck on? What does that do for you? Yeah. The fact that I just said, what if you just turn your magic all the way the fuck on? What that does, it just activates instant power into you. Like, what if? Like, the thought process starts to open up. Like, what if? Like, what would happen to the world around me if I decided to turn my magic all the way the fuck on? Like when somebody says, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like you could say, I'm getting out of here. Why? Because I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You know, it's a difference. It's a difference in the energy, because one is a statement, the other one is an activation. Let's do it. Let's get it popping. Let's get it going. Let's work. Let's work. Let's snap out of it. Let's go. Let's go. Right? And that's what it's about. It's about the let's go. Let's get this done. Let's get it. Because sometimes you need that. You need to snap out of it. Snap out of that thought process. Snap out of that depression.
It's true.
Okay? Snap out of that darkness and turn that magic all the way to fuck on. Because what it means is that everyone has magic inside of them.
Yeah.
Every single person on this planet, you were born from magic. You are magic. You're walking magic. And then there's all the things that happen in the world around us that tries to steal our joy and tries to steal our power. Sometimes we get into relationships. We get into situations where we can't seem to find a way out. But what I'm going to say is that if there was a way in, there's always a way out. And that magic, it might be quiet, it might be a little resting in a moment, but you got to wake her the fuck up and turn that magic all the way the fuck on.
Yeah.
And go ahead and just feel that energy of what that may feel like. What made my life look like if I decided to see the other side, if I gave myself an opportunity to turn my magic all the way the fuck on? Will I accept this invitation to turn my magic all the way the fuck on?
I love it.
Okay, so that goes towards those projects that you've been talking about, that book that you've been trying to write, that store that you've been wanting to open up, that podcast that you've been wanting to start, you know, that blog that you've been wanting to do, that clothing line that you've been wanting to make happen, that women's group that you've been wanting to put together, okay, that that degree that you've been talking about completing, that school, that course. You know what? That's all magic. All of it.
Magic.
All of that education. You want to go to the higher level of your education. Well, what does that feel like to you? You know, get into the feeling of it. What does that accomplishment feel like to you? What does it feel like?
Yeah.
What does it feel like if you start leaving situations that you know is not good for you, but yet you're tolerating these situations in your life, or these relationships in these places, people, place, and things? What does that feel like if you just let that shit go? And then, now you let it go. It's nothing. It's no longer with you. So what do you do now? Now turn your magic all the way the fuck on. What does she look like versus what she looks like, with the magic off and with the magic on? So when I'm doing my women's ceremonies and my events and my empowerment, I'm always looking at all the women when they first come. I'm looking at each and every one of their faces. They don't know what's going to happen next. They're all nervous. And I just smile at myself every single time when I watch all of these women and they don't know what's going to happen. But they came there for a reason. They showed up. And I always have to break the ice. And I'm like, just look at each other right now. Everyone look at each other. Just look at the faces of the woman next to you. And I can guarantee you that her face will not look the same when we complete this journey. And that's what it's all about. The whole idea of allowing yourself and embracing that invitation to be open to transformation, to be open to not be complacent, to be open to just taking a little baby step, just a little step, just a little seed, just planting a little seed, and just wondering, okay, what does that feel like if I just start somewhere? Like, you don't have to finish the whole, sometimes you might not even be able to finish everything.
No.
You're not going to be able to finish. You know how many projects I want to do? Like, you might not be able, but you know what? Sometimes just go on a journey. Just take yourself on a journey. Just because you can. And just show yourself how badass you really are. Why not prove that to your own self? Not even to the world. Yeah. Just do it for yourself. Because it's these things that build up our confidence and our self-worth and our value. And that is some of the things, those are some things that I feel that humans in general suffer from. Mm-hmm. The lack of belonging and self-acceptance, self-worth, knowing your value, and when you don't tap into those parts of yourself and develop those parts of yourself, it carries on to all of your relationships. Your business relationships, your personal relationships, and then you accept things that you know that you don't have to accept, but you feel like, well, I'm just gonna, at least this part is good enough. At least this is good enough. Okay, it's good. Settling. At least this is good. But then that's not, but I'll accept it because at least I get this much. Are you only worth this much? But if you turn your magic all the way the fuck on, why not expand the thought process to even give yourself a chance to see how far you could really go.
Wow. That was... I feel like just giving you a hug right now.
Listen, I'm open for hugs all day.
No, definitely it is. So now, Hadiiya, you have so much energy and so much drive and so much passion. I know all the listeners and all the grinders are listening like they're ready to turn their magic all the way the fuck on, right?
You said it better this time.
I said it better this
time.
time.
See, I inspired that.
You did inspire me.
Let's go.
Right? How do you find a quiet time? Or, you know, like...
How do I find a quiet time?
Yeah.
Well, okay. One of the things that I knew, like, where I'm at in life right now is, you know, I have decided to, you know, I've been in a busy New York City life for a long time, for all of my life. And just like, go, go, go. Right now it's like, boom, 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 right? And so I moved to the West Coast. And a lot of people in my New York City tribe, they can't understand why would I get up. And I planted so many roots here. Why would I get up and just leave and go to the West Coast? Because of quality of life. It's just simple as that. You know, I love New York City and I love how much work I can get done. Like right now, I'm here in New York City. I have another week here. I got so many interviews and so much work planned. But this place is for working, and that's what it is. You work, you get it, you're on the grind. But the thing about here is that your grind never stops, right? And so you have to find a way, even in the midst of this madness. Even if you can't leave the city, like I decided to leave to be around the sun because I'm a sun goddess. I get charged by the energy of the sun. It calms me down. It keeps me, you know, and I could really tune in. And I really feel like my deep spiritual connection rise. And I'm doing spiritual work. I'm doing healing work. I'm helping women to set free. I'm setting women free and men free, like constantly. This is my work. And I've embraced this as my full-time work. I need to be in that element. But if I had to be here, what would I do? In the midst of the busy life, and what do? Even as I'm here, I go to the spa. I make sure I make time to sit by the water. I make time to dance. One of the greatest things that I do and that releases me, even if I'm not completely sitting still or completely still, is creativity. I believe in active meditation. I can really travel to different planes, different spiritual planes and different worlds through either my creativity with my hands or the creativity with my body. Mm-hmm. Like moving bodies and moving energy and just moving and flowing, you know, or being at the water and getting in water and embracing water. Sometimes you might not be able to go to the water because this place gets cold. What do? You go to the spa. You get in that hot tub. You get massages. You get self-care. You shut the phone off. There's times where I take social media breaks for like a week.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I do. I'll disappear from social media real quick. Yeah. I'll delete all the apps off my phone. You know, when I feel like I've gone too far or I've given too much, I shut it down. I'm back to being selfish. And I believe that selfish is a great thing. Society taught us to put everything and everyone else first, from our careers to our children to our marriages, and it's a lie. I'm here to tell you none of that is true. Everything that we were taught is just, it's all, to me, it's about control. And the only control that you could really have is control over self and control over your mind and control over your own actions. And if you're not right, how could you expect anything else to be right? That's why hurt people. And that's why there's so many hurt people in this world. Because no one is taking time to really work within and working with themselves and working with their own self-healing and healing themselves and healing the hurt parts of themselves. That what people are doing is jumping from situation to situation to situation and patching up wounds and looking for other people to help them heal these wounds, or thinking that the power really belongs to someone else, or blaming other people for their state of mind, or from where they are in life, or blaming their parents, or blaming the fact that they had children young. I have 3 children. Yeah. Okay? So, and I put myself first. That's it. You know, the funny thing I'm going to share right here, and I don't mind sharing because I'm very transparent. You know, when I moved to LA, my children's father just decided, told me that he'll never speak to me, like just lose his number. And I'm cool with saying it because it's the truth. Yeah. And, you know, and I'm like, it's all good. Yeah, just take care of her. We good. You know, I'm not going to let, you know why? Because, why? And he said to me, you didn't move there because of Savannah. You moved there for yourself. I said, absolutely, I did. I said, well, you think I'm going to argue with you? Absolutely, I moved there for myself. And then, yes, it's a better environment for my child, but it's a better environment for my mind. And so if it's a better environment for my mind, then it's going to be a better environment for my family. And that's it. And so people don't want you to take that kind of control like that. And they resent the fact that they cannot control you anymore, or control your actions, or hold you down. The butterfly, she moves. She moves. And and I'm not saying that movement is the last movement. When that movement no longer serves me, then I'm on to the next movement.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, but not everybody could flow like that. So what I'm going to say...
It's a mindset.
It's a mindset, but it's also, working with what you have. And that came to me, and I wanted to talk about that today also, is when I'm in a situation and I'm trying to figure things out, and I lose my way a little bit, or I may have a little doubt of something I'm about to do, or I'm trying something new. I put my feet in unknown waters. What do I do? What do I do? And what I do is I sit back and I say, okay, what do I have? What have I accomplished? But and if I haven't accomplished much, what do I have right now? What do I have in front of me right now that I could expand on? What do I have right now that I can grow with, I can grow from? We all have something right now. I don't care how small it is, how medium it is, or how big it is. What do I have right now? And I'm going to work with what I have until I have more, until I expand on that, and that allows me to expand on more. And that's what this whole thing is about. That's what this whole life of thing is about. That's what it's about. Some people thinking that and sometimes a human mind begins to believe that it's about this destination, and once I get to this destination, everything in life is going to be so perfect. And that's a false belief, because there is no destination. There's never a destination. You will not get to anywhere and be completely satisfied. It's never about a destination. It's about constant transformation.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, Hadiiya.
You can get your book at turnyourmagiconbook.com, honey. Let's get into this plug,
yes,
okay?
Hadiiya.
Yes.
So tell the people where they can find you.
How's that? Any questions on there? You hold that up real quick. How's that flowing over there? You know what I'm saying?
Is there
Make
any questions?
You got that popping over there.
Just comments.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any good ones? Anything I need to address before I go? I take a question, honey. I'm here for you. Yes.
You see any questions?
No questions. Just
okay, you have a question, all right? Well, I gave you opportunity.
Yeah. So Hadiiya, so tell us where they can find you, like on social media, on the website. How can they purchase this book?
Okay.
And let them know whatever you want to tell.
Turn Your Magic On book. I created the Turn Your Magic On book is to, it's like your daily dose of medicine. That's what I call it. The way I have this book is that you don't read it from start to finish. Some people are like, hey, I just finished reading your book. I'm like, you're never finished reading the book. There's no way. It's not a book that you finish. If you're looking for a story, you're not going to get a story.
It's not a story.
It's not a story. When I wrote this book, I was channeling energy and channeling messages. That's what I do. That's one of my gifts. Okay, I channel. And so some of the stuff, there's times where I pick up the book where I need to hear that word. Why? Because I didn't write the book. Spirit wrote that book, working through me and on that paper. So there's always a message. And sometimes when I pick up the book, what I do is I pick it up and I just say, okay, what is this message? Give me the message that I need to hear. I'm looking for that good word. And I just turn it up. That's called setting an intention. And I believe firmly in setting intention. And I just open it up to something. And it's a guide also, so it allows you, it allows you to take notes. And so it might be just like a quick little dose, a quick little message, or it might be something long and expanded, depending on how Spirit wanted me to speak in that moment. And so then you have your notes on the side. So this also serves as a journal. And then you have the message. And I promise you, most of the time you pick up this book, maybe all the time, you'll get a message for exactly what it is that you may be going through or you might be dealing with, and you need something to give you a different perspective. Because when I write, I'm very non-traditional. I give you the other side. Everyone's saying this, I'm saying that. I'm saying, what if you think this way? Let me challenge what the world has already taught you, because it's time for all of us to awaken and unlearn. Everyone talks about this whole woke thing. Oh, she's woke. Listen, awaken. You have to really awaken.
Absolutely.
And awaken by challenging some of the things that you've been taught. So Turn Your Magic On. Look, so like I just turned to something right here, and it says, stop looking for happiness in the same... Am I supposed to show this book this way?
You can.
Okay. So yes, I just turned to this page. And each one, some of them have mantras also, and this is page 57. And it says, stop looking for happiness. This is the name of this passage. Stop looking for happiness in the same place, expecting a new experience. Now, it's very similar to what we've been talking about today, right? And that's what turn your magic on really means. And so, and this is great for entrepreneurs. Perfect message for entrepreneurs. Break the cycle and change the pattern. Try something different. Change is really healthy. Most of the time we're looking for happiness in the same places that gave us sadness, in the same places that, I gotta get off?
No.
Okay. In the same places that gave us sadness only because it's comfortable. There's a term that's often used, which is like, I always hear people say this, I'm just gonna stick to the evil I know. You heard that term?
Yes.
That before, when people are like, well, they're both evil. I'm just gonna stick to the evil that I know, right? You know, or some people will say, well, at least I know the bullshit that I'm dealing with. You know, as if it gives some sort of false justification to comfort in the negative. So in that case, it's like, a lot of times we'll just be in situations, and I know I've had a relationship before where it was really tough for me to get out of that situation, because it was like, there was certain things in it that gave me great comfort and gave me stability. But yet I was unhappy. You know, and I'm expecting this person to change. Like, oh, if he just does this, or if this just happens, or if they just do this, then I'll feel better. And I'm like, well, why am I trying to squeeze out some happiness in this same place that I know is not working? You know, and so it's like these kind of different messages here. I know you got to go soon, so I'm not going to keep going.
No,
I see you looking over there.
No,
like,
this is the podcast. There's no time limit. I go off of energy as well, and.
But you know, it's like these little messages,
so
and that gives you what you need to hear. You might be stuck in a situation. And when I say relationships, doesn't always mean that it's a personal relationship. Sometimes it could be meaning an intimate relationship, a lover. It might be a friendship. You know, it might be a family relationship. It might be a business relationship with a coworker or with your boss, or something that is bringing you unhappiness. But you're expecting somehow for it to make you happy. But it's the same stuff you're doing all the time, and you're in that same place all the time, expecting, and then you'll justify it too. Well, in order for you to stop yourself from making that next move, you'll justify it and say, well, at least I know what it is already, so let me just, all right, at least, let me just accept this bullshit, because there's bullshit everywhere, so I'm just going to choose this bullshit. You know? And so it's like, lowering the expectation of your greatness. Like, I expect greatness, and I want greatness all around me, and I have high expectations of all my relationships, because I have high expectations of myself, you know. And so, you know what I'm saying, I have high expectations. I'm never going to allow myself to settle, not even with my own self. And I'm not always on point either. There's times when I'm not on point. I'm not going to just allow myself to just say, well, hey, that's just what it is. No, it's not just what it is. What could we do to get better? What could I do to improve? How could I expand? How could I improve my work? If this is what I'm doing, I want to grow. So let me learn from places that I know I can improve on, instead of having my ego in my ear and just saying, oh, just accept it. It's bullshit anyway. Everywhere you go is bullshit. That's an easy way out. You know,
that's the cop out.
It's a cop out. So you can get the book at Turn Your Magic On book. There's a lot of great messages.
Yeah, signed copies on
signed copies
from that website.
And this is a new. Wait, give me this cover right here.
There's two.
So look, there's
two.
Like, this is one of the first. This is the first cover, and then this is the second cover. You know, we want to.
I love
you love the second cover.
Yeah.
This is a limited edition.
The limited edition
yeah,
cover.
Yeah. But this is the cover, and this is the limited edition cover that we just came out, because we like to play and keep things exciting.
Exactly.
So you can go to www.turnyourmagiconbook.com, and you can also you can go, if you want to join any of the gatherings that I have and any of the empowerment groups that I have for women, is goddessglowup.com, which is www.goddess, not O-W, GLOUP.com, glowup.com. And social media is Hadiiya Barbel. It's Goddess Glow Up. And it's Araya NYC for the hair. What I want to do is talk about this also, just really quickly before we go. Okay. I'm always looking for a message. And the way we really find the answers is by paying attention to the things that occur in our day-to-day lives. And so before we close, what I will say is that on this trip to New York, it's been revealed to me, and I'm saying this for the first time, that it's time for me to just put 100% into this work that I'm doing, into being an author, into being an empowerment leader, into being a soulpreneur. Because I'm a professional wild woman. That's it. What is my title? I'm a professional wild woman, soulpreneur, and transformation artist. That's what I do. And so I have realized that my energy has been split in many different areas in all the work that I'm doing. And I have been meeting with amazing entrepreneurs and soulpreneurs and life coaches who are in the same field, my peers. And I had an amazing, it's so funny, I went to Afropunk the other day, and I had an amazing meeting with one of them. And they said something to me that really stuck out. They said, if you put in 50%, expect 50% back. I mean, it seems like, it's not rocket science, right? But we're not really paying attention to any of that in a lot of things that we do. A lot of times that's just going over our heads. But it's really powerful. You know, if you expect 100%, are you giving it 100%? You can't expect 100% or more in anything that you're doing if you're not giving it 100%. And so I've decided to really take that in, to really look at it and say to myself, in order for me to grow within my passion, in order to work that I need to do, I'm going to have to let some things go. So part of what I have decided to let go, not 100%, but just like most of the day-to-day, is the hair business. I know.
Wow.
Yeah, I decided that it can go online and be a part of my products as an artist, as the art that I offer. But like managing that, I'm not going to do anymore. I'm just ready to let go and to really get in and really go all the way into what I'm called to do, because I know I'm called to do it.
Yeah.
And so that's not an easy thing to do, especially if that's been a part of you, and it's actually a really great moneymaker.
Yeah.
But is it? Yes, it's great. But is it bringing me joy?
Yeah.
It's the day-to-day bringing me joy. I'm not hands-on. Am I changing lives? And so I know I've been put on this planet to make a difference, and with my contribution in my spiritual work. And so I'm going to have my business, that part of the business, go online moving forward, and then that will free me up, and I could put 100% into my healing work.
I love it.
Into being a professional wild woman, into my workshops, into writing more books, you know, and to traveling and bringing this work all across the planet.
You know
that's what I see.
That's what the world needs.
That's what the world is. In this time that we're
Especially
living
now.
in.
You have all the Faith Grind Inspired listeners. I guarantee you behind you. I'm behind you.
You're behind me.
And
You support my decision.
Support your decision.
Being here in New York
Yeah.
made that clear for me. I had to go to LA.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let me come back and get into this. And I came back to check on business, check on things. And it came to me and I said, wow, I'm no longer here.
Yeah.
My spirit is here.
Yeah.
My spirit is in, like, I did a ceremony on the beach on Sunday, and it was powerful. I have an online academy, and it's called The Goddess Collective, embodying the essence of a goddess daily. And my students are signing up. I'm about to take new registrants, and I love it. We go through 12
What's the
doors.
website?
It's yes, so many websites I have. Oh my God, I make them all confused.
Yeah.
This one is called glowupcollective.com.
Okay.
And
we have to with the new website.
I need a new website. You know, I got a new. Hadiiya Barbel needs to be all compressed and
into all these, and we'll put links.
I'm gonna sit down with you about that.
Yeah, we'll sit down with Andrew and we'll do that.
It's time now though, because I have a lot going on. But you know, when you focus in like a laser, they say when you focus in like a laser, you can cut through glass.
Absolutely.
When light focuses on glass, cuts right through.
It's true.
And that's what I'm trying to cut right through. Let's cut right through. Let's get in there.
All right.
Turn that magic all the way the fuck on. Yeah, you rocked that one. You rocked that one.
All right. So, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Hadiiya, thank you so much for coming on. We have to have a part 2.
We do.
And
we do. When I'm back in New York, I'm doing another event here in New York in October. And it's called Sacred, Successful, and Shameless.
Oh yeah, we definitely have to have you back.
For female entrepreneurs.
What about the guys?
Hey, join it.
All right, cool.
Join it. Join it.
All right.
I'm not even going to be biased. Let's go. Let's get it happen.
Once again, thank you guys for tuning in to another great episode of Faith Grind Inspire. And I know you enjoyed. I don't even have to ask you the question, did you get value from this episode?
Of course you
I know
did.
you did.
Of
She
course
said,
you
of
did.
course
Like,
you
come
did.
on now.
Turn your
Let's keep
magic
it real
all the way
here.
the fuck on. And continue to listen to Favorite Line Inspire and,
Yes.
you know, turn your magic on. Turn your magic all the way the fuck on.
The magic lives in all of us. Remember that. There's no one who came to this earth without it. You just have to turn her on, turn him on. Let's go. Let's get it. We only have this short period of time in this physical body. Let's make the best of it. Let's make the best of it.
Absolutely. Once again, share with your friends. Tune in to Favorite Line Inspire every Wednesday and put a rating on iTunes. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you.